Hey, I was debating whether to do this up as a rant or not. It is a rant. It's something that really makes my blood boil. It has to do with racism. And it has to do also with an issue that someone asked me to address before, which was how um, interracial children are dealt with in Korea, or even adults who are of mixed race. Uh, it's not everything I wanted to say on that topic, but there's a middle or elementary school girl in one of my classes, very, very pale, milky white skin, um, probably sunburns after 5 seconds in the sun, and her hair, Koreans call it blonde, but we would probably say very, very light brown with maybe a little bit of blonde in it, but very light brown, not even really dirty blonde. So today in class we were talking about piercing, body piercings, tattoos, and that. So we get to some questions like, well, would you get a piercing? No, 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 no. Tattoos? No, 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 no. Would you dye your hair? Well, first off, in Korea, students do not dye their hair. It's a beating offense. Literally, the teachers will. So there's no dyeing your hair different colors, even if your parents agree to it. But this girl, she said, I would love to dye my hair black so I look like every other Korean. And I was kind of taken aback, and another boy in the class, that's right, you're not Korean. And I should have bit my tongue, I didn't. I'm like, you little racist. Because she's not black-haired, black-eyed, or dark brown-haired and black-eyed, she's not Korean. She was born in Korea, raised in Korea. Korean is her primary language. I've talked to her parents. I haven't met them. They do speak some English, but with very thick Korean accents. Who the fuck are you, you little turd, to say she's not Korean because her hair is lighter? Jesus. I mean, they judge us by our skin, by our hair color. Guess what? They judge their own that way too. And this is the age that they're taught. Where do they get this? From their parents. Or their parents see them doing it and don't correct them. Odds are they get it from their parents. They even judge themselves on their bloody skin color. Because they used to be mainly a farming country. They weren't very industrial. Those with very light skin were considered to be of the nobility or well-to-do families. They weren't out in the sun. So the darker skinned people, they look down on as being peasants. And that attitude is still kind of prevalent today. The ideal Korean woman, for a man, has long, straight, dark hair, dark eyes, she's short, and she has very light skin. That's why here you'll see ajumas and women, they just don't go out in the sun. The hottest days of summer, they'll have gloves on, sweatsuits, visors covering their face so they don't get any sun on their skin. And it's not just because they're afraid of skin cancer. They don't want to look like a peasant. So here you have elementary school girl being judged by her classmates because her hair's too light. After that class, I had another one, and we talked about racism. It was one student, one-on-one, very bright student. And without mentioning names or what day it happened, I told him this story, and he's like, oh, remember 6 months ago, we were talking about a similar topic, and I told you about the girl at my school when I was in elementary school. And it's like, oh, geez, yeah, and it was almost the same problem. Except he said she had really blonde hair. She was Korean. Her parents were Korean. And the other kids used to torment her for not being Korean. It's the same sort of thing that a lot of children of mixed race go through when they go through the school system in Korea. They're not seen as Korean. They could be born here, raised here, doesn't matter. You're not Korean. There was a 14, 15-year-old soccer player maybe 5 years ago. I remember reading a story and in the newspaper, and it was praising his ability, how great he is, and how the Korean people love him, even though he's half black. And he was, in his interview, he wasn't talking about how great life was. He's like, it's great now because I'm good at soccer, they like me. 5 years ago, they were calling him nigger. They were calling him half-blood. They were calling him things like that. He was getting beaten up and taunted. And that still happens today. It's almost catch as catch can. It might happen. It does for the most part with Korean parents, with mixed parents. There was a news story a couple of months ago about how the Korean ability of some of the foreign mothers of the mixed race children is bad, and that the children aren't really learning Korean properly at home. And they were talking about how kindergarten age children are going to school and maybe their mother's a Filipino who married a Korean, or someone from another country, and oh, your mother's brown. Your mother's not human, she's a monkey. Your mother's not Korean, so she's not human. And this is at kindergarten, elementary school level. This is how friggin' sick the racism can get here. And teachers tend not to stop it. Or at least Korean teachers. It really pisses me off. I don't like racism in any form. And I mean, it's bad enough seeing adults do it. It's horrible. But to see the kids and no one corrects them. Anyways, I needed to get that off my chest a bit. It was really irking me today. And that doesn't even get into all of the stuff about mixed race children that I've been looking into. I will do that up one day. It's not pretty either.